Let's go to some breaking news right now. Only on WRTV, the plan to save millions of dollars. IPS in the fall will be asking more of its kids to walk to school and making it mandatory that hundreds of high school students ride to IndyGo buses to make it to class, Megan.
The district will still transport thousands of students, but the changes are expected to save the district facing a major deficit lots of money. Our co-anchor in WRTV Investigates, RAFAEL SÁNCHEZ, joins us live aboard an IndyGo bus with the latest. RAFAEL.
Megan and Lauren, good morning, and this is the Red Line bus 1988. We're heading southbound here south of Indianapolis, but this plan is all about making sure kids get to school on time, get to school safely, but as you mentioned, also about saving money. We sat down exclusively with the leader of IndyGo and IPS to discuss this new plan that we're breaking down for the first time this morning here on WRTV. This comes as IPS is facing an $18 million budget shortfall in the fall, and they're looking for ways to cut that number down. At the same time, on this day, IndyGo's leader plans to head up to the State House to voice opposition to a plan that threatens the future of the blue and purple lines. But here is the plan this morning. In the fall, IPS will enforce its walk zone policy. Students attending neighborhood schools would have to walk to school. This could impact as many as 4,000 students. Now, school bus service would still be offered to kids in special programs, kids with special circumstances, special needs, and those that are homeless. But a few hundred high school students will now be required to use the IndyGo bus service if one city bus will take them directly to their school. For those kids, IndyGo will become mandatory. Overall, this plan could save IPS as much as $4 million.
IndyGo and IPS are moving beyond their pilot program. The area's largest school district is turning to the state's largest public transit system to permanently transport a portion of its high school students.
So let's be smarter with the dollars. You've trusted us with the responsibility to use those well. This is what we're trying to do.
The students at Attucks, Shortridge, Tech, and Washington high schools with the closest access to IndyGo's fixed routes will be among the first wave to be shifted from a school bus to a city bus.
When we're looking at maybe some of the big four schools that we service for the school, some of those routes are at 30 minutes and some are an hour. So we'll work with the school system to determine if they would like us to beef those routes up. It doesn't take more buses, it just takes us starting that bus or buses a little bit more frequently.
The leaders of IndyGo and IPS are confident in their partnership. This as the legislature seeks to derail the purple and blue lines, which are critical to IndyGo's growth.
The blue line, which is the number 8, is already at a 15-minute frequency. That's not going to change if the State House moves this bill forward. The infrastructure that we would have put in place will be lost. But the frequency of the service would not increase, which was what the blue line would have done. It would have brought the service from 15-minute service to every 10-minute service. So that's a tremendous blow, especially when we're trying to increase these partnerships.
Don't prohibit us and impair us from actually doing the things that will benefit the taxpayers of our community.
Back live here on the Red Line. Now, the talk, of course, of shifting to city bus service and the walk zones is all about keeping cuts away from the classroom.
The goal is to never, disturb or interrupt anyone's employment. That said, if we have to make these tough decisions, then my priority is always going to be how do we best protect the teaching and learning environment in the classrooms for our students and families.
More of our discussion with the IPS superintendent and the leader of IndyGo. Right now, it is a digital extra. Our entire interview is posted on WRTV.com. And this remains really, Megan and Lauren, a developing story. In our next half hour, we will take a look at the criteria being used to determine which kids will walk to school and which kids will ride the IndyGo bus. We're live this morning south of Indianapolis on the Red Line. RAFAEL SÁNCHEZ, now back to you.